Ready, set, go.
Welcome to Dagon, or Dagon. Not sure how that's pronounced, but welcome. This is apparently a sort of short narrative horror experience based on some Lovecraft. So, you know, we love ourselves some cosmic horror. Maybe not from Lovecraft, but made good. He was a compelling storyteller. Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. I don't know why you needed to tell me that. Kind of getting off on the wrong vibe here. You could have just let me find that out for myself. But okay. I'll take it. You know, take what you're giving me.
This under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Or, shall you be? During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Great! Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder sign. Good to know. You can also access all the found facts later. They will be available in the main menu. Great! So we're gonna be learning today. Getting some spook, getting some education.
And at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Oh, shall I? I can also look up and down with the arrow keys. Interesting.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
I wasn't gonna think that.
These hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Right, I'm assuming since you're in a Lovecraft story that you've seen some sort of incomprehensible horror beyond humanity's imaginings. That's kind of what I'm assuming. Any Elder stuff? Any Elder Scroll? Oh, hello. Morphine. Let's learn about it. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restrictions until 1914, just straight up unregulated, going around. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Great, real game changer. Friedrich Suturner, who first isolated the substance, originally named it morphium after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with dreams. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. Good to know. I actually like this little bit of learning that we're getting here. Reminds me of Plague Tale, when you learn all about the flowers and little artifacts and things.
It was in
Okay.
the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Happens to the best of us, my friend. Happens to the best of us. I get this was they gave me the option to do this in VR, which if you've got a VR set, maybe you want to get this game for yourself and experience it that way, because I'm sure that would be quite interesting. Okay, so we got that little info. Any lore that I can pick up around here? Yes or no? No? Just the cosmos? Okay.
Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation,
I see.
so that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Great. Glad to hear that. Happy for you. Glad to hear you were given at least some respect. I don't know. The Huns. The Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids, who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality, so not maybe become a bit of a derogatory term at that point. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on the 27th of July 1900 before they embarked to China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated, no quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited, just as 1,000 years ago the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a Okay. Alright, alright, Wilhelm. No need to drop that last little line in. That was not necessary. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the laws and customs of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. So not only was this Wilhelm being a bit racist, also doing some war crimes. So just not admirable figures all around. Let's get to this lifeboat.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
That's good to hear. You thought I was kidding about the chips and guac? No. I got chips and guac right here. Okay. Anything else to learn, or are we just advancing? We're just advancing, I think.
When I finally found myself adrift and free,
Mhm.
I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
I mean, that's a much less vague guess than I probably could have done. I don't pay enough attention to the stars to know which side I would be of the equator. That moon, though, good lord.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Yeah, I see that. That's quite apparent. Okay. Am I gonna be able to learn anything else at this time? Is there any other pertinent historical info for me to glean from this bleak horizon?
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted
Nice.
days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting
As
for
one
some
does.
passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Yeah, you got options. There's possibilities. Your life can still go places, I'd say. Maybe not a lot of places, but you're still going places. How about the water? How's the water
Neither
situation?
ship nor land appeared, and I began
Great.
to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
That blue is definitely unbroken. It's heaving, it's vast, it's unbroken, it's solitary. All of the
Change
above.
happened whilst I slept.
The what? What's
Its details I shall never know.
what's changing?
For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Well, that's good. At least you're getting a good sleep. You're getting your essential 8 hours in. And that, oh dear. Oh heavens. What to do of this situation? Man, oh man. Hey, excuse me, do you know where we are?
I awoke. It was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Slimy expanse of hellish black mire. Okay, so we're in Edmonton. Good to know.
My boat lay grounded some distance away.
Right, I see that. Well, at least we're on dry-ish ground. Like, at least we're...
I imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery. I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
That is fair. There's a lot of tentacles and, like... Some of these are clearly squid, but also, like, there are some of these things that are not necessarily squid. So, yeah, being more horrified than astonished is a reasonable...
I was in the air and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
And tentacles. Can't forget the tentacles.
With the carcasses of decaying fish
Oh, we're getting up.
and of other less describable things which I saw
Can I move?
from the nasty mud
Of the unending plane. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Apologies. Alright. Great. Hey guys, lads, friends, would any of you handsome fellows be able to direct me in, or help me in the direction of perhaps a Chevron or a 7-Eleven?
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. I shouldn't affect me one way or the other, quite frankly. I think I can handle a few crazy things.
Within hearing and nothing in sight, save
No.
the vast reach of
Oh,
the
there's
woods.
another.
Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
Gotcha.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
So that is the sun. Interesting, because it still feels kind of like nighttime. Which is a little confusing. Is it day or night right here? It's hard to say, which I suppose is a bit the point. This one over here seems to be having the time of its life, which is good. Anything to learn at this time? I'm really here for the learning. Can I get to the boat? Excuse me, please.
As I crawled into the stranded
Right.
boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
Really? What's that? What is this theory?
Unprecedented volcanic upheaval. A portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable water.
I'm sorry. What is that heaving mass of sludge? What's that thing breathing over there? What is that? Like all of these, like if we're talking about unfathomable watery depths, we just got some squid and octopus, some prehistoric like shelled animals going on here. That's fine. That's reasonable. The frick is that thing over there?
Great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me, that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Yeah, not really any sight of... Not any sight of the ocean anywhere, is
Nor
there?
were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
These things don't seem particularly dead. Maybe, I guess this fish might not have made it, but... The scariest part of all this is that there's nothing that I can learn about the history at this time. That's really the shocking thing. I can't learn about that ammonite-looking friggin' thing over there. I just gotta click the fish.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
That's nice. I suppose as soon as it crosses over... Oh, and there's still something whipping and whapping right behind the boat here.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed
That's
likely
good.
to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Nice! So we're counting our blessings. That's good. We've got a healthy outlook on this situation, I
That
think.
night I slept but little, and the next
Okay.
day I made for myself a pack containing food and water.
We've still got food and water.
Journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
We've still got food and water. Living like kings out here, I would say. Okay, so that's to progress. Something red glowy over there. I don't like that. Not a lot of extra lore that I can glean lately.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Not only that, but we found this giant-looking kid. This freaking arrow-looking motherfucker. On the third morning, found this.
The fish
Okay.
was maddening, but I was too much concerned
Okay,
with
that's
the
fair.
livings to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of start walking at this point. You just kind of gotta keep walking, I guess, in this direction.
All day,
Oh,
I forged steadily
what are we...
westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than
What
any
a-
other elevation on the rolling desert.
What exactly are we looking at now? This is not your standard squid and octopus anymore. This is some Subnautica stuff right here. This is not standard ocean fare at this point. What are we walking towards? What's with the claws and pincers and such? What the... Okay, that's just a whale. That's nice. That's recognizable. Hello, Mr. Whale. Seems like you're having a bad time. Same. Hope you get out of here okay.
That night,
Okay.
we camped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Okay. What object? While we're talking about objects, can we talk about these tentacles or whatever this snake-looking thing is? I think these are tentacles, but they don't have any suction cups, so I'm not sure. But I guess the object is over here.
By the fourth evening,
Nice.
I attained the base of the mound, which turned
Nice.
out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Sure. We got ourselves a good old mountain right here.
Gleaming valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface.
Right, yes, I see that.
I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Sure, if you can.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
I think I have an idea. I think I had an idea. I think it was maybe the tentacles and the octopus and the squid and the whatever else that we saw on the way
An
here.
waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain.
A fantastically gibbous moon will do that to you as
I
well.
was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
Just say you couldn't sleep and you were sweaty. You can just say that sometimes.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
Fair enough.
And in the glow of
Had
the
some
moon, I
nightmares.
saw how unwise I had been
What do you mean? You saying it's nicer to travel by night?
Reaching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean.
I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
That's good. Glad to hear it.
I started for the crest of the eminence.
Nice. Got our pack. Nothing to learn about so far.
I've said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me.
Sure. Are you about to say that the horror is about to get a lot less vague?
My horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the side into an immeasurable pit or canyon,
Okay.
whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Oh, heavens. Okay.
I felt myself on the edge of the world.
Yes, I get that.
Rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Uh-huh.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost. Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
Well, I guess we had better start climbing.
Sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Okay. Are we about to begin our descent?
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Okay, just watch that slime there. It seems a little bit on the slippery side.
200 feet, the declivity became very gradual.
See, you don't need to use words like declivity. You don't need to use declivity. You can just say the decline. Or the slope. We can use normal words.
By an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled
Uh-huh.
with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath.
Gonna say, getting some bad vibes from this canyon.
Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
Yeah, these deeps are looking pretty Stygian.
Was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope.
What?
Which rose steeply, about 100 yards ahead of me.
That's just a gosh dang cube.
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
What's that doing there? The heck is that doing there? Hello? Can I learn anything yet? Is there anything for me to learn? Other than about the
It's merely a gigantic
infinite
piece of
smallness.
stone, I soon assured
Right.
myself.
Like, yeah, but the fact that it's so, like, nicely carved and, like...
But I was conscious of a distinct
Yeah.
impression that its contour and position
Mm.
were not altogether the work of nature.
What tipped you off? Was it the fact that it's perfectly square?
Closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Sensations? What kind of sensations there, buddy? What kind of sensations are we talking?
Its magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young.
Uh-huh.
I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
That is exactly what that is. That is, in fact, what that is.
The workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
Sure, maybe.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined
There you
my
go.
surroundings more closely.
You gotta have things like that to keep you going. You gotta have the certain thrills of the scientist/archaeologist's delight. You gotta hold on to those things. You gotta have that eagerness to learn.
The moon,
Okay.
now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Ooh, there's some etchings going on here.
Revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions, and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm,
Right.
the wavelets washed the base of the cyclopean monolith. On whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude
Oh, can you?
pictures.
Right. Yes, I see those as well. I see them.
The writing was in a
Oh,
system of
oh wow, we're getting a good look here. Is that Cthulhu? Are we looking at a good old Cthulhu right here?
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
Yeah, I see those.
Characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Oh. Like the thing in the middle here? Because everything else I'm fairly familiar with, I'd say. We got some ammonites. We got some angler fishes. We got some lion fishes.
Whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain.
That is true. We did see some of that
It
stuff
was the
on our way
material
here.
carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Is it the Cthulhu one? Was it the... Oh, hello. Hey, we can learn things. Storytelling methods. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals, and characters' notes, Shadow Out of Time, The Haunter of the Dark, Islands emerging from the ocean, The Call of Cthulhu, classic, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, such as Migo in The Whisperer in Darkness. It's also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So glad we're not done learning around here. Okay.
Visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of Doré.
Bas reliefs? I don't know what that is. I also don't know what a doré is.
Things were supposed to depict men, at least
Oh.
a certain sort of men.
A certain sort of man, I suppose.
Creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some.
I see that. Like merman, perhaps?
Homage at some monolithic shrine, which appeared to be under the waves as well.
Yeah, is that where we're at right now? Are we at the place that it's
Their
depicting?
faces and forms I dare not speak in detail,
Okay.
for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
Is that so?
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Oh, look at this. Imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. I don't know what a Bulwer is. Those are some unfriendly faces, I will say, though.
Damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands
Sure.
and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips.
Yeah, this bottom one I'm pretty sure is Cthulhu. Kind of looks like it.
Glassy, bulging eyes, and other
Yes.
features less pleasant to recall.
Mmm.
Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
Are you saying... what do you mean chiseled badly? This is beautiful. These are lovely
One of
renderings.
the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, representing
Oh.
but little larger than himself.
Oh, these are big.
I
These are
remarked,
big
as I
boys.
say, their grotesqueness and strange size.
Yes. Yeah, that is certainly remarkable.
Decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Is that what you're gonna decide? Is that what you're gonna say?
Had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're just sort of settling on these things probably aren't real. They're probably just mythical beings.
Struck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist. I stood
Yeah.
musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
That's my favorite kind of reflection.
Suddenly, I saw it.
Oh. We talking about the little splashes here?
A slight churning to mark its rise to the surface. The thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Look at that water animation. That's a little rough. Whoa! I?
Darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
You are a large one. Hello.
About which
Been to the gym?
gigantic scaly arms, while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Those were certain measured sounds. I can confirm that. Okay. Oh, we're blacking out.
And then,
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll take your word for it.
of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're getting out of here. No worries about that. We're making our way home. Making our way downtown.
I believe I
Yeah.
sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Okay, sure. You know, these are coping mechanisms. Yeah, you do what you gotta do to keep yourself in check.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Indistinct recollections of a great storm. Okay, these are those indistinct recollections. I see. I get it, but glad to see we're back home.
I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Ah, other tones. Like G sharp major. 7th. Like that. Yeah.
When I came out of the
Oh.
shadows, I was in a San
Oh.
Francisco hospital.
Great. There are worse places to be. We're in San Francisco.
By the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Great. That's great news. So glad we're in San Fran.
Said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
That does make sense. If you were describing the things that you had seen, I would not expect people to pay much
Of the inland
heed.
upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Yeah.
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Right. Understood. This seems like, hey, learning. The journal is a list. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Would not want to read that. Howard was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart. I'm guessing the Howard is what the H stands for. Which resulted in his decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again, for the first time since his teenage years. Dagon, published in 1919, is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments, and at the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Okay, and this was written before we had nukes, so maybe he had a point. Maybe in this particular instance, maybe Howard had a point. Hello? Door? Are we just getting out of bed?
Out a celebrated ethnologist.
Ah. What What for?
Peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish.
Oh, Dagon. Okay. Okay. What about him? Dagon, or Dagon, was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. Rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. That doesn't make much sense. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian texts. So, a lot of different hats this Dagon wore. He was often mistakenly taken, you can just say mistaken, for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's works, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. That's a very pretentious name to give to for a cult to give to themselves. Hilarious. Okay. Fascinating. Good to know. Where am I supposed to click now? Oh, hello. Over here.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
No. As in, he was real basic. August Derleth and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company Arkham House. Although he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies, as I would expect from anyone that would have befriended Lovecraft. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine, Derleth was a devout Catholic, to the Cthulhu Mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It is also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu Mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Gotcha. That's very interesting. What about it? Oh, hello. What just happened? Okay, so now we're moving over here. We're moving over here now. What's there for me to check out around here? Nothing? I suppose? Okay, why am I here then? Let's go over here. To the door.
It is at night.
And here we are again.
Gibbous and waning, but
Ah, yes. We're back to the gibbous and waning moon.
but the
Ah,
dark has
did you?
given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
That is a shame.
I am to end it all, having
Ah.
written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Gotcha. You've written it all down. If people want to believe it or not, that's up to them. But you're washing your hands of the matter in the most extensive way possible, it seems. What else do we got to learn here? Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult. In his correspondence with friend Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated February 13th, 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor, and never intend to, having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favor of prohibition. The prohibition of any one antisocial force, as well as of any other. See, okay, there's a contradiction there. Let the herd do what they will is in contradiction to I am rather in favor of prohibition. Either you want to let the herd do what they will, or you don't. Like, come on, man. I am arguing with a man who is about 100 years dead. Could have been.
As I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my
Maybe.
escape from the German man of war.
You could say that.
I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
Uh-huh.
I
The
cannot
big fish man.
without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
Man, I think about that without having already seen a fish god.
Ancient stone idols and carving
Yeah.
detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
Sure. I mean, they can't help how they look.
When they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind.
Okay, now you're just being an edgelord.
The land shall sink, and the
Uh-huh.
ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
You think so, eh? Oh, wow, look at that. The kaijus are headed for New York. It's Godzilla. Great.
The end is near.
Is it?
Hear a noise at the door, as of some
Oh.
immense slippery body lumbering against it.
That does sound like a rather slippery body. Okay. Well, I guess I'd better get that.
Shall not find me.
It might, though. What if it does, though? Like it's about to right now. Hello?
That hand.
Come on in. Is it the fish god? The window. What if I want to stick around and talk to him? Like, do you really... Well... Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We would appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon and check out our other games and DLCs. Nice. That was lovely. That was a nice time. I do love me some cosmic horror, quite frankly. So that was a nice little trip. It would have been nice if it were a little bit more interactive. That would have been nice. But not gonna complain too much. So, yeah, we'll keep moving. We got time for maybe one or two more games. But that was Dagon. That was cool. Love me a little, like I said, love me a little cosmic horror. Love me some fish god. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. If you're enjoying yourselves and you're watching live or on the VOD and you have not followed, maybe that's something you want to do. I'd appreciate it. If you've already done that and you want to subscribe, that would be really cool. Supports the channel, gets you into our Discord server, gets you some exclusive emotes, good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, you can like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. You can head over to Twitch as well and do stuff there if you want. And yeah, thanks so much. See you later.